Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, not Brian Coddington, along with my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, Elaine Woolscroft and Brian Coddington.
You motherfucker!
Whoa, you guys blew my mind!
Motherfucker!
Welcome to 2018, bitches!
Oh my god.
You
New
son
year,
of
new
a bitch. You son of a bitch. Listen,
I can see out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, I can't look over to him because
I've got one thing. On this show. You took my one fucking thing.
Brian, I think you got more than that.
I'm just saying.
It would be
That's
hilarious
right.
if you introduced the show and you stayed quiet the rest of the show. Like in
You
Major League
motherfucker.
2. That guy. He just sat there with Bob Uecker and never
Bob
spoke.
Uecker swallowing like Pepto-Bismol.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this is episode 85. You
Right
son
out
of a
the
bitch.
gates.
I'm seriously
Well,
like,
see, you have
son
that.
of a
I didn't know
bitch.
what episode we were on.
Yeah,
I
we're on
forgot.
85.
Okay, 85.
Okay.
We're getting close to 100, guys.
We are getting close, and we're actively thinking about what we're gonna do for episode 100.
Yeah, guys. Oh, we're gonna hit that milestone.
We are definitely gonna hit that milestone. I think I have it down where it's gonna be the week of April, like the last week in April, I believe, is when we're gonna hit episode 100. So we're actively thinking about what type of event we want to do, because we definitely want to do something that's live. It might be a movie screening plus, discussion afterwards or something like that. So, but we're keep tuned to us. We're going to come up with something really cool. But yeah, so episode 85, we're going to be doing our 2017 movies in review.
What a year it was.
And what a year it was. It's not, I mean, it was, I would say we were naive to think that 2017 was going to be any better than 2016.
Yeah, we only got 2 months of Trump in 2016.
We were so young.
Well, as
We
an
were.
official, I
We didn't listen. So
we didn't listen.
Yeah, so we're going to be going and giving you a nice little recap of 2017, people we lost, our top 5 picks for best and worst, and some other, goodies that John has jotted down that I didn't get a chance to write in my notes. So, but before all that, we've got our movie news, and this one hits close to the chest for me because Hellraiser is one of my absolute favorite films.
I would dare even venture a guess that Clive Barker is your favorite filmmaker, or at least in the top 5.
He's not my favorite filmmaker. I appreciate his artistry with basically everything he touches. His paintings, his novels, and his films. They were something that inspired me to go into filmmaking.
Okay. Cool.
So it definitely holds a lot of emotional attachment for me. So when I see the rape and pillage of one of my absolute favorite franchises, I mean, I should be used to it by now because we've had 6 or 7 Hellraisers that have honestly been nothing but god awful shit.
Yeah, Brian, this series has already had its seat.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware of that, but it's just like you twist the knife even deeper, and eventually you just come out the other end.
They've already had their Jason X.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they seriously did. The Fat Pinhead was the Jason X. Yeah, so there's a new Hellraiser movie going to be coming out called Hellraiser Judgment.
Yay?
No, not yet.
Oh.
The trailer for it dropped this week, and holy shit. Where do I start?
Well, before you jump into it, is there really much of an audience still around for Hellraiser?
There still is. There still is.
It's like, Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger.
There are people like me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no offense by saying this, but that's, you're kind of a cult fan of it.
Yes.
Is there that big of a cult audience to recoup the funds?
For the amount of money that they spend to make these, there really doesn't have to be much of a recoup on it.
I'll say it looks like that movie looks somewhat expensive, for better or worse, from that trailer. Maybe they just knew how to cut it together.
They knew how to cut it together. So this movie was hinted at a couple of years ago, and it actually is kind of the brainchild of the special effects makeup artist who did the Hellraiser films, Gary Tunnicliffe, who is a well-known special effects makeup artist. He did basically all the Hellraiser makeups from, I believe it was Hellraiser 3 all the way to current. And he decided to write the script called Hellraiser, I believe it was a Revelation or something like that. And
Sounds like one of the Resident Evil movies.
Well, he was trying to do a Kickstarter for it, and it fell through. So, that movie fell through, and he decided to, come up with this new film called Judgment, and basically take concepts from his failed Hellraiser film that didn't get the money to make, and put it into this one. Now, what's interesting about this is that a lot of people have been saying that, hey, you can't really do Pinhead without Doug Bradley, and just like with Freddy Krueger, they're absolutely correct.
Yeah, you can't do it without Robert Englund.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of having Jason or Michael. You can technically throw anybody who has good posture behind those masks.
Right. But the thing is that, I believe Doug didn't even get a copy of the script.
Well, they're just doubling down on people want to see the pins and not anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of, you watch this trailer, and the first thing that I got was like, again, they're thinking anyone can jump into the makeup of Pinhead and you can make it work, and it isn't. Pinhead has a personality and an inflection that honestly only one person can do. And honestly, if you can't do that, then don't put Pinhead in there, or just don't make it a Hellraiser movie. So we start off with what I like to call Saw graphics.
Dude, I'm so happy you said that, because this whole trailer looked like a Saw trailer.
It was fucking Saw.
If you took that one brief shot we had of Pinhead out and just put in that little doll on the tricycle and that that I would have been like, oh, it's the Saw movie.
Yeah, and that's it. and it was it exactly looks just like that. Pinhead is in it for about 5 seconds. The rest of it are, I guess, Cenobites, but now they look like, something out of a Todd McFarlane.
Brian, please tell our audience what Cenobites are.
Okay, Cenobites, for the uninitiated.
They sound delicious.
They do. I'm hungry.
No, they're not delicious. They are the quote-unquote demons in Hellraiser. So Cenobites are the people like Pinhead, like Chatterer, like the female Cenobite, and like Butterball, who are that's the names of them. Like they don't really have any names in the film. Like the big important thing is that Pinhead was known as the lead Cenobite. He didn't really have a name in the first film, but they've kind of come up with these names over the course of the series, and they've always been like, their motivations have always been one of kind of like the garbage men of hell. Like, I always looked at them as the garbage men of hell, because they're really only doing this shit to bad people, like really horrible people. That's who they're ripping apart with chains and hooks and shit like that. Somewhere along the way, and usually I would say it's probably about around Hellraiser 3, they turned into the slasher,
Yeah.
Just the guy who just goes and kills random people.
Torture porn.
Porn. Well, and not even that point. Hellraiser 3 was 1992. So, I mean, that was in the midst of the still slasher era. It was right towards the end of it.
Yeah.
So, you have that type of...
I mean, that's really the tail end of it.
Yeah.
They rush out Halloween 5 in like 88 because they're like, oh, this is over. We need to get this out.
It was really towards the tail end of it. And then they started to do this whole thing with the Hellraiser series where they're like, well, let's go back to, the idea of... and this is, of course, after Hellraiser in space.
Well, how do they all get to space? Jason, Leprechaun, they all get in space.
Time travel.
Space is hard to get into. You don't just stumble onto
was time travel.
A spaceship. Oh, shit.
Well, if you take into account the fact that, at least with Hellraiser Bloodlines, which is the one in space, that the box has been around for, centuries, that they jump in time. So by the time we're in the future, they're on a spaceship, a space station, And it's part of this elaborate plan that this one man's family who created the box are trying to do to, destroy the box, to destroy Pinhead.
Makes sense.
Not a good movie. It's still not a good movie, but Doug's in it. So it's one of those movies you're just like, he's in it for most of it, and he's pretty good in the scenes that he's in.
Yeah, Doug Bradley, who plays Pinhead, is actually a close friend of yours.
Yes.
So in case you're wondering, like, why
more of an
Brian's really, buckling down on his Doug Bradley. I mean, obviously, he's the right man for the role, but obviously, he's also a friend of the show. I think that's fair to say. But yeah, okay, guys. Just side note, real fast, before we'll get back on topic. How many Jurassic World movies will they make before they do Jurassic World in space?
My God.
Jurassic World 4
in
space.
Space is usually reserved for number 3.
Oh.
Because
So
you
the
got
next one.
here's the reason why I bring that up. Okay? Because Jurassic World is already a sequel.
Right. No.
So it's already a sequel in a line of
It's a soft
sequels.
sequel boot.
It's a soft sequel boot, but I'm just saying it's not original.
Yeah.
It's already still pulling shit, so it's technically what would it be? Number 4?
In space, no one can hear you evolve.
So by the time we get to number 3, we're going to be in what, 6? So yeah, that'll be the space one.
I'm so confused. My nose is bleeding. Anyways, yeah.
But
back to Hellraiser.
anyways,
Yeah.
my point is that the Cenobites are the demons that are the main antagonists of the film. But they're garbage men. By the time we get to the early 2000s, Hellraiser at this point had turned into really more or less shoehorning Hellraiser characters into direct-to-video films. So ones that didn't even necessarily have anything to do with Hellraiser, and they just kind of like threw some Pinhead and some weird demon people in it. And this one is supposedly, this is according to Wikipedia, supposed to be like a completely original movie, not shoehorned in for direct-to-video, and also not made to retain the rights to Hellraiser by Dimension Films. That last little tidbit is complete and utter bullshit. Mm-hmm. Every year, Dimension Films has to put out, every couple of years, they have to put out a Hellraiser film, or else the rights revert back to, I believe, Clive Barker.
Yeah, and a lot of studios do this. It's why, even though they become so convoluted, why, was it 20th Century Fox keeps putting out these X-Men movies? It is 20th Century Fox, right? Yeah. It's because they don't want to lose the rights to it, because no matter how convoluted they get, they still make like at least $400 million.
And it's also a matter of franchise and merchandising rights. Mm-hmm. Dimension still owns, I believe, all of the merchandising rights to Hellraiser 2. So if they lose that property, they also lose all that merchandising. So because they're really only making money on that. The people like me who are diehard fans, they'll go out and buy the Hellraiser t-shirt, the Hellraiser lunchbox, all that other shit. Even though we're really only glorifying the member berries of that. Okay. But the point is, with this particular new movie, we watched a trailer of it, and it's really just torture porn with Saw mixed in and some, I don't know, Zack Snyder filters.
Ooh, Snyder filters.
So a lot of browns, a lot of blues.
The Instagram of sadness.
The Instagram of sadness. It comes out, and I don't know that some people will be like, and I actually made comments of this on some Facebook groups about Hellraiser. I think it was Bloody Disgusting as a Facebook group, and I made a comment and said, this is basically Saw with Hellraiser characters. And some people were like, you don't understand, you haven't seen the movie yet. You're right, I haven't seen the movie, but from looking at the trailer, it looks like shit.
Well,
Last time I went and had that same reaction, it was Ghostbusters.
I was going to say, yeah, Ghostbusters. Like, apparently you can't judge a trailer any longer.
No, apparently the trailer is not really the movie.
Because I went, that movie looks really bad. And then I was told it was a giant man baby.
Yes.
For thinking a movie looked bad.
How dare you judge a movie by its own trailer?
Yeah, the whole advertising thing to make you go, oh, I want to see that.
Well, that's a positive judgment there, but you're not allowed to have negative judgment unless you see it, right?
Well, here's a nice petty story of somebody desperately trying to keep the film rights for no reason. Warren Beatty owns the rights to Dick Tracy.
Seriously?
Yep. He himself, like any movie adaptation, has to go through him. And even though he was in his 60s, even though there's no way in hell that he himself would play Dick Tracy again, he wanted to own the character and play the character so badly. You have to produce something in order to keep the rights. He coerced Charlie Rose into doing an interview with him in character as Dick Tracy, which counted. So he is 60 years old in the Dick Tracy outfit, playing Dick Tracy, being interviewed by Charlie Rose, which counted and allowed him to keep hold of the character, which he can't really play anymore because he's a decrepit old man.
So what you're saying is you got to wait till he dies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, because like I guess he decided like he jerks off to his own himself as Dick Tracy. He's like, yeah, no one else will ever play that, only me.
Yeah, that the whole copyright system and the whole like rights system is just really fucked up. Personally, I don't think that Dimension should do what they're doing. Because I mean, if you had someone like myself or even anyone else who was a filmmaker and fan of Hellraiser, if they were able to put their vision of it, that would be hands over foot above better than anything that these guys are putting out. No. And I mean, it's not a slight against Gary Tunnicliffe. I don't know him personally. But I just got to say, if this is what we've been looking forward to, I see a lot of, fluff, but not really any substance. And it definitely doesn't look like a Hellraiser movie. It looks more like, as we said, torture porn and Saw. So if you want to check out that movie, it'll be direct to video on February 13th.
Check it out next to probably Curse of Chucky 5.
Curse of Chucky 5, yes. So,
and Leprechaun in the Hood in Space 9.
The Space Hood.
Yeah.
Oh god. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we're gonna be diving into 2017.
Hey guys, this is Marta from Marta on the Move. I hope you're enjoying this podcast. When you're done with this one, you should go check out mine on www.martaonthemove.com. On the Epicast Network, you can find me on Twitter at ICan'tFindMarta. If you like interesting people and places in Pittsburgh, food and drink, travel advice, and general nerdery, check it out and keep it moving.
And we're back. There's a message from our friends over the Epicast Network, specifically Marta on the Move. If you weren't able to check out Marta's 100th episode live, as we weren't able to, because we were freezing our asses off.
And it had everything that, like, she knew how to attract me. She's like,
she did.
Old school gaming, craft beer. I'm like, yes.
And game show host.
Yeah. And Rick Seaback.
Rick Seaback, yeah. So, but like us, if you weren't able to take a listen to it, you can listen to her 100th episode on epicastnetwork.com. I listened to it over the week. It was fucking hilarious. Like, I was generally upset at that point that I wasn't able to be there. Yeah. But, yeah, so...
Way to go, Marta.
Way to go, Marta. Check her out, epicastnetwork.com. So, today's episode, again, is going to be about the movies and the year of 2017. What a shithole. Seriously.
What a year it was.
Yeah. It wasn't all bad. Like, I got married in 2017, so that is good. My wife's pregnant, so that's good. But in terms of entertainment, holy shit.
Yeah. And just a side note as we get started here, I feel a little bit bad. I'm going to probably update this list when we get like closer to the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because there are, and my apologies, so many good movies that I have on a list to go see that I haven't seen yet that are not going to show up.
Right.
Shape of Water and tons of movies that. So I'm going off this list. The last movie that I saw was Last Jedi in terms of last year.
Yeah.
And and then all these movies that are really great that don't come to my local Cineplex are now available to see after we're.
Right.
I'll see them after we record this episode. But
Perfect.
I'll give an updated list. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's also important to note that when we get to our top 5 and worst 5, these are only movies that we've actually seen.
Yes.
So we're not just going off of like IMDb's list of the worst films of 2017. We're looking specifically at ones that we saw that we were just like, holy crap, those are bad.
Yeah, so if you're wondering, hey, John, where's the Emoji Movie? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Same
see
here.
It.
Didn't see it.
But yeah, so just what a year it was. We had our first full year of Donnie Trumps in the White House. And my goodness.
I'm so tired all the time.
Well,
I think that's the consensus of a lot of people.
Well, the New York Daily News has a newspaper coming out with him as a piece of literal shit. Like the shit
he's
emoji.
like a poop emoji.
He's
with
a poop
the hair.
emoji.
Even Bush never had himself as a piece of poop on a newspaper.
You know what? It's hard to say this, especially because I was not a fan of W. But oh God, I miss those days.
I mean, let's not lose perspective.
No, I'm not losing perspective. I'm just saying. And I don't.
Trash.
W was trash. I mean, he's a great artist now. Good for him.
Great painter.
Great painter.
Like Hitler. Kind of.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I'm just saying, I don't even think W would call countries shithole countries and let it get leaked to BuzzFeed and a million other different areas, and just the amount of spectacular failure. Oh God. You just, every day you're just tired.
It is. It's exhausting.
Well, all these leaks that he has, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's literally saying shit so upsetting that people are like, we need to let the press know about this, which means we only hear like 1/5 of the things he says behind closed doors.
It's true.
So, I mean, he was talking about Africa. Over under on how many N-bombs do you guys think he dropped? Because he thought nobody was like recording him.
Guys, like, we could talk about this, but this would be a very different podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like we got very off topic.
Well,
we're just saying in general, 2017 was the year of tired.
It was tough.
Here's the sad thing.
I'm still tired.
We said we'd start the episode off with a 2017 recap, and like Trump just monopolizes everything.
I know. Well, I mean,
was there any mass shootings this year?
Oh my God!
a couple.
Are you kidding? There was one like every day.
Oh yeah,
every
day.
The Vegas one, John. That we.
Oh yeah.
I was in Vegas like 2 weeks before it happened.
Yeah.
And we had friends that were there that weekend and came right before it happened. They came home.
Yeah, they
Crazy.
were considering going to that concert even. So
Crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, like, a lot of violence, a lot of bad things going on.
outside of like ourselves, like Brian, obviously you said you got married and are going to be a father. Was there anything good that happened this year, like outside of like our personal realms? Was there?
I mean, there's good if
Anything
you know where
positive?
to look. Like,
You know what? I would say the one positive thing that you can take out of 2017 is that the bullshit of male patriarchy and all the stuff with Harvey Weinstein and all of that shit just coming to light, and people actually having the reaction of, yeah, we're sick and tired of this crap, and people actually having the repercussions of it occur.
Yeah.
That part is one positive thing you can take out of it.
I mean,
and we can attribute that to Donald Trump.
And,
Well,
and the Time's Up movement came about as well.
Yeah.
I think people are more civic minded now than ever. This is a really scary time, but people are becoming more engaged in their communities.
Yeah.
People are running for for office and everything. We've seen actually several transgender candidates take office.
Yep.
People who are openly transgender. I think that's really important for visibility and for understanding. And Australia got marriage equality.
There you go.
Woo woo.
But I'm just saying, like, if you were to tell me in 2016 that a entire movie would recast and reshoot 2 months before its release date because one actor had allegations come out that he did horrible, despicable things.
Kevin Spacey
As a child molester. If you were to tell me that a film studio would do that and that a director would do that, I would say you're full of shit. But that happened, and it's amazing that happened. It shows that they're not going to take this crap anymore.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, just last night I was reading about James Franco, and this morning it's Aziz Ansari. So
I know.
It's just like, move over, James Franco. It's Aziz's time to,
James Franco had his week. Had a Golden Globe win in. Ugh.
Well, when the big one had
Allegations.
When the big story broke, Brian and you and I did the show alone that week, and what did we say? Like, just fucking tell me if someone's terrible. Like, I just want to know if they're terrible. So, I mean, I've been lucky that, it hasn't been a lot of people that I've been a huge fan of, except for Louis C.K.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Al Franken.
Yeah. But like, I mean, just keep telling me, like, I will take the disappointment over not knowing when someone is an unimaginable shitbag.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
Teen pregnancy went down again last year. It's down like an absurd amount from the 1990s. I'm serious. Like, because I mean,
I think they're reading my book, Your Butt Can't Get Pregnant, by Dr. John Williscraft.
Dr. John Williscraft.
Dr. John. But no, seriously, it's like down by like 60-some% since the 90s. Because like I mean, I don't think it's a bold proclamation to say that most teen pregnancies aren't intended to happen.
No.
So yeah.
Unless you want a reality show on Lifetime.
Or MTV.
Or MTV.
Or no,
lot of
I'm
people
sorry,
thought
the
that-
TLC is what I meant there.
Oh, yeah. TLC that no one learns anything on ever anymore. The not learning channel.
Well, doesn't Honey Boo Boo's mom, who allowed her to get molested, has
Mama
a new
June.
reality show?
Yeah, hot
Or
or
she
not.
lost a lot of weight or something?
Spoiler alert, not, because she's so ugly on the inside. Doesn't matter what the rapper looks like.
No.
Well, Lane, thank you for giving some positive facts, because we didn't elect Roy Moore, I guess.
Yay!
But a lot of people still voted for him.
The guy who did win, though. But guys, I feel like, with the South, the fact that Roy Moore didn't win, let's just take the win, you know?
Take it easy. We may have people who listen in the South. You're like, when it comes to the South,
I just mean just from a demographics perspective. I didn't mean I didn't mean it like that. I meant the demographics down there and
let me
just
tell
how
you, those
politics
flyover states.
how different. Oh shit! Will you stop it? You're making it sound so much worse than it was. I did
You know
not
what?
mean it.
Someone in the South is just going, fucking Sirmasacos are Yankees.
This is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, no, Yankees.
And that's fair. But no, but what I was gonna say is the guy who did win, he's a really
Doug
generic
Jones.
name. Doug Jones? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Doug Smith for a second. Doug Jones,
That's even more generic.
He appointed a black head of staff, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he's been making a lot of really great hiring moves for his administration
That's
as
good.
well.
Good for him.
Wasn't Roy Moore still fighting this?
Yes, he was.
No,
He
yeah.
still is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then one more thing. I'm not usually a big royal family kind of person, but I think it's very cool that Prince Harry got engaged to Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
She is American.
Yeah.
She is biracial.
Yeah.
And she is divorced.
Wow.
The royal family is probably shitting bricks.
I've been watching The Crown, and let me tell you something. They do not like divorced people.
No.
Do not care for this.
Well, that was a big thing, when Diana and Charles
Yeah.
got divorced, when we were kids.
Yeah.
That was a big, big deal.
Diana, you mean that transient all?
And then, the Queen had to pretend she cared when Diana died.
Oh no, Dawn. She had hair. I could say that, I guess.
But anyway, but if you think about it, those are things that would not have stood. Meghan Markle, she is an American actress, but she's actually just going to do philanthropy full time.
Yeah.
Say that fast. Once everything is, I don't know if that's starting now but she's retiring from acting just to devote herself
Right.
to, to philanthropy, and that's a very cool idea.
Good.
Well, Lynn, thank you for giving us some positivity there. And
I try.
Just a kind of a
There's
brief-
always good if you know where to look for it.
Hopefully 2018 we won't be just talking about mass shootings and comics pulling their dicks out and a blonde-haired turd as our president. But let's get into the actual movies here in 2017. And Brian, as you said, we have our best and worst lists from what we managed to be able to see this year. But I just thought what would be a good starting off point here is three movies that I feel really caught the cultural zeitgeist this year, and that was It, Wonder Woman, and Get Out. I thought those were the three movies that really kind of blew up for different reasons, but nevertheless.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
One of the things that going into this episode that I was kind of reticent about is I didn't see a lot last year because nothing excited me. Nothing, and when I had to see them for the show, I know, and I don't want anyone to undermine my credibility by she didn't see that many movies and she has a podcast show. I know that sounds dumb, but there wasn't a lot I was excited about, and we do tend to look at older movies as well, for our show. So I didn't necessarily have to be at the theater every week, but I found movies last year with a very few exceptions, and you've mentioned one of them already, John, but there were some of them. Just going to the movies just wasn't as fun as it used to be, and the movies just felt tired for the most part.
Elaine, as somebody that did see a crap ton of movies last year, I could tell you that most of them were a gigantic waste of my time, and I hated myself leaving the theater.
I know,
that's probably why.
And two, obviously, dear listeners, in case you don't know, John and I are married. So when you went to a movie, it would make sense for me to go with you, but a lot of times I didn't because I just didn't want to see what you were going to go see. And
that's the only thing that keeps us from getting divorced is those moments of freedom from each other. Oh, did I not tell you that?
Oh, no, you didn't. Well, now it's more important than ever. We'll go to separate theaters. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Honestly, I was in the same boat. I watched a lot more TV than movies.
Yeah, I got caught up on my Netflix.
You know, I was watching, you know, series like I was watching the End of the Fucking World, the new series on Netflix recently.
Oh, is that good?
Oh, it's really good.
Sweet. I came to the Orange is the New Black party 7 years
Yeah,
later.
but I watch shows like that.
That's how
I
I watch TV.
watch shows like The Crown, also a Netflix series.
I heard that's great.
It is really great. And, you know, I watched a lot more TV that kind of occupied where my movies would normally be.
Yeah.
And it's really a matter of amount of the quality of my time.
Of course.
You know, if I'm seeing a bunch of shit that was out there, like we talked about the Emoji Movie, or even like movies like Alien, what the fuck is it?
Covenant?
You know, Covenant. I didn't see that.
Saw it.
I know you
John
did.
saw every shitty
But-
movie this summer, I swear to
I'll be
God.
honest with you, I didn't want to see it because it was I knew it was going to be a shit bomb.
Well,
Okay.
Brian, you'll be happy to know and surprised. No, it sucked.
It was bad.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of the offerings that I saw out there, like even movies like Dunkirk, you know, I wasn't really into. You know,
John also saw
I
it.
know, John also saw it. But movies like that where it's like, oh, okay, it's war, that's great. You know, I just wasn't really excited.
Wait, nothing
for it.
excited you.
Oh, I
either.
like war movies though.
I mean, and I don't mind war movies, but just
I have to be in the mood for it.
there's
though.
there's just something about, like, you know, the movies that came out last year that it just, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it.
You know, Elaine, I'm with you though on that. Like, I end up getting into shows like 8 years after everybody else, and but I'm excited about them, and I want people to show me. I'll be like, "Hey, I just watched Mad Men," and they'll be like, "What?
Yeah, no, seriously.
Wait, that show
I
has
really
been
wanna-
over for 3 years."
I really want to talk about Orange is the New Black with somebody, but like I'm on like the second season.
But just an interesting question for you guys with how the world is changing. Do feature films that are released on Netflix, do we count those as
Releases?
movies of the year?
No, I don't think yet. I don't think
Are
we're
you a
there yet.
theaterist? Are you saying that it
I
has to come out in a
think
movie
yep,
theater?
mhm.
Personally,
For now.
I believe they do. I believe they do.
They count.
I think they count. I think they count because of the fact
I might
that
adjust my list then.
Okay, the reason I say they count is because, with the exception of what distribution platform they're using, it's still made and marketed the same exact way. Now having a theater there, I do agree that is something else. That's you know, kind of rises above everything else, because not a whole lot of movies do get four-walled, you know. But I would say that, like, I'll give you an example. I watched a movie on Netflix called I think it was called The Babysitter or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it was a horror movie.
The Alicia Silverstone movie?
No. But it was, I think it was called The Sitter.
Okay.
It might be.
Yeah,
The Sitter.
I heard of that.
But it was a film that was made for Netflix,
Right.
and I liked it a lot. Am I going to count that as a movie of the year? Yeah, because it was released in 2017, and you know it did get released, and it is a film. So yeah, does the distribution platform really matter? Not really. I don't think so. I just think that we're in a time where how we are digesting media is changing, and we need to kind of reflect that.
That's true. I mean, for me, I think, you know, you were mentioning the marketing. I feel like distribution to a theater is like the final piece of the marketing puzzle. You know, because I think that's it's just the standard that I'm still holding on
Right.
to, and maybe that's outdated. And I'm
I don't think it's outdated. I just think
you know.
you have to kind of leave room for those specific you know, venues. I mean, if you look at like the Golden Globes and you look at, you know, these other avenues where they're now recognizing,
series are certainly being recognized.
they're now
And
recognizing those series.
And I don't see the difference between something like, what is The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu?
That's on Hulu.
Yeah. I don't see the difference between that and, you know, This Is Us and our favorite Stranger Things. You know, those all feel the same to me. And, you know, I mean, and certainly if you want to hold things up to the scumbaggery of Hollywood, you know, obviously Amazon Studios president, or I guess he was the chief, but like Roy Price, like had all those allegations this year, and he had to resign.
He has a 14-finger forehead.
I love how John breaks things down to like the lowest common denominator. Like he's had sexual allegations, and John's like, he's an ugly motherfucker too.
You could land a plane on his head.
You could land a jumbo jet on that forehead.
Oh, like if
my
you taught
God.
a gerbil to fly like a little plane, he could land it on his head.
It's true. Yeah, he sucks.
Like, oh, here comes the landing strip, mittens.
Yeah,
just goes to the
Oh,
landlord.
God.
Yeah, he sucks. But I mean, again, like, and you think about like the Man in High Castle, like that's what he got his allegations for. But like that's just as much of a series as anything else, like.
So you're showing a show about toxic masculinity, about men like taking over the world.
and he attacked a producer, like he had unwanted advances on her.
Wow.
And made a lot of really, really lewd comments, So, I mean, obviously the Hollywood poison runs through every well.
Yeah.
But for me, for some reason, I think like as far as movies go, like I am still holding it to that theater standard for now in a way that I'm not with series, because to me it all feels the same.
Right.
I think it just depends because, I still do like going to the theater. I didn't enjoy it last year, but I do like seeing movies.
I went and saw and this is not really a movie more or less, but I saw the Doctor Who Christmas special at Settlers Ridge, the theater there.
Yeah.
And I went to the luxury seats, and it was amazing. Like
the
the
loungers
experience
are the bomb.
Well, here's the funny thing. My lounger broke.
No, Brian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What is it with you in chairs, bro?
I don't know. But it was funny. We were going to see the Doctor Who Christmas special, and my wife and I are fans of that show. And, we wanted to go and see it in the theater, so we abilited watching it on TV.
I saw your wife's status when she was like, "It's killing me not watching it."
It was killing us both. We're like, we can watch it right now, right? But no, we're gonna wait till the theater. Okay. So we got to the theater and we're sitting down, and she's got her recliner back and everything, and I've got my recliner back, and she's like, "Oh, can you go get me popcorn?" I'm like, "But I'm sitting down here." I'm like, "All right, fine, I'll go get it."
Hey.
So
Women.
I go up, I get the popcorn, come back, my recliner breaks.
No.
So the whole time I'm sitting there just going like, looking up. I'm like, this isn't fun, but I'm enjoying it. But the experience of it was nice.
Yeah, well,
Minus the recliner break.
we got the loungers for Last Jedi, and I swear that like augmented my experience so much because I was like so cozy and comfortable.
Yeah. But the point is, that's the only way we can enjoy the theater now.
And I like the focus that comes to the theater. You have to put your phone away.
Yeah.
You have to switch off your brain and enjoy the movie.
No,
or
that
else
is
you're gonna be
that's
lost,
a good point.
Well, and I do think we got horribly sidetracked from
We
this.
did a
did.
little bit.
We were just
Yeah.
opining.
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist.
We have Wonder Woman, Get Out, and It. So
Yeah.
those seem to be the three movies that blew up. Not even necessarily financially, although all of them made very good money, but just like that got a lot of attention online in the media.
And for different reasons, because if you think about Wonder Woman, it was so groundbreaking that a woman made a comic book movie and it made so much money
about
a woman.
Yeah.
And then with Get Out, I think that spoke to so many people, that were trying to find a place in the world, like, and I'm in no way speaking for like the Black community, but I think like to have a movie with a Black protagonist about how horrifying it can be to be a Black person in America. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yep.
That I thought that was really important, and plus for the movie to be so fucking well done and just an amazing movie in its own right, I think that was really important.
I was a little nervous going into it that Jordan Peele was writing and directing. I was like, wait, the guy from Key and Peele?
When you're like this funny
and then it was
dude,
great. Yeah.
And then it was just, and more than that, and you have to think about this, like if you're funny, like you're likely very smart.
Yeah.
Like John hides it well, y'all, but like he is really fucking smart. And that's why he's so funny. And I think that was like part of it, because to be funny,
I went to school with him.
So
I know he's smart.
And like, and for the intelligence of that movie as well, I mean, it made me see Jordan Peele in a whole new way. I mean, like, the guy is insanely talented. Like, I thought he was great anyway, because I loved Key and Peele when they took it off the air. And then to, like, go make Keanu, I was like, come on. Like, just give me Key and Peele back if you're going to make shitty movies like Keanu. But then he comes out with Get Out, and I'm like, yes, okay, I am fine with you not doing the show anymore if you make movies like that.
Well, Lane, you took the easy way out, the shortcut home. We just got sued. But obviously, I get why those two got the national spotlight and attention. Why the fuck were we so into it this year?
Because of the guerrilla marketing campaign. Remember when clowns were showing up in
Yes.
the backwoods of the South 2 years ago?
It's a combination of a couple things.
Come on.
I look at the movie It being a combination of, the whole clown thing that was happening where people were scared of clowns in the woods and shit like that. That marketing blew up. On top of that, it dives directly into our nostalgia. Like, it directly goes into the member berries.
Remember? Yeah, I remember.
I would say that they were really playing off Stranger Things
Yes.
and a few other things that like really brought the 80s
Yes.
back to the attention. And they said
And specifically the late 80s.
Yeah.
So, like, our time.
it's a 30-year window.
Yes.
You know, and the thing is when the made-for-TV movie, now they were following the book, so this is kind of unfair to say because, you know, they're going by what the book had written, but it was the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, and because it was the early 90s, so it was the late 50s, and they were right to update it because, you know, Stephen King was going off of all those Universal monster movies he saw as a kid, and that, you know, that's not going to be as relevant in terms of scares for if you want the second part to come out in 2018,
Right.
19, whenever it's coming out. But yeah, I think you're both right, Lynn. The viral marketing campaign and the member berries kind of, and that just something about clowns. And I think
Fucking clowns.
that
God, they're scary.
people that have never read Stephen King just assume it is the scariest one of his books. So, it's done really well now. Like, it's gonna be the scariest thing I'm ever gonna see. I'm gonna dump my pants.
It's like, dude, you never seen Pet Sematary?
John, did you in fact dump your pants?
I did not. No, only because the movie told me every time I was supposed to be scared with that scared sound. Like, there's the scene where he's in the
Scare sound. I like that.
well, this scene where he's in the storm drain, and it's scary enough because like it's brilliantly lit because it starts with just his eyes and they're yellow.
Yeah.
And then he slowly walks in and you see him, but of course they don't think that I would find that genuinely scary and go scared as soon as his eyes show up. And I'm, oh, come on! You don't have to tell me that I'm supposed to be scared. It's a weird ass clown man in a storm drain.
That's modern horror movies, though. That's their thing.
Yeah, every one of them. But,
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought those were the ones we should start with. Here's an interesting fact that I found out, guys. 46 of the mainstream Hollywood movies were reboots, remakes, and sequels, which I actually find surprisingly low.
That is
Really? It just feels like they're pushed so hard. You know, I think one of the things I'd like to do for myself in 2018 is try to find the smaller art movies or like a good documentary or like just something that isn't so intensely, you know, corporate, big budget bullshit. You
Quick
know?
plug to the Manor in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. That does seem relatively low by comparison from last year, like 2016, the previous year, where we had, like, I think we even mentioned this on that particular year in review episode, where we had so many that were sequels, that were reboots, that were soft sequels, that sort of bullshit. So that is relatively low, but at the same time, we did get movies, like, I think our superhero level really skyrocketed even this year.
Yeah, I should have looked that up. How many superhero movies there were? I think there was probably about 7 or 8.
Something like that, yeah.
Because, you know, Marvel usually puts out 3.
Yep.
DC usually puts out 3. And then there's...
Fox puts out a couple.
Yeah, and they'll get, like, Jonah Hex. You know, it's like something nobody's heard of.
Well, I mean, they had... Fox had, Logan, which was a great movie. Mm-hmm. And then it also had, did have X-Men this year. No, that was last year.
Last year.
We had Logan.
We had Logan. That was
Logan.
it.
2016 was Apocalypse. Yeah. It's hard to keep track of.
It is. It is.
Because this year alone, I think we're gonna have Venom, Black Panther, of the Avengers, Avengers 3.
No,
Avengers 3.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's coming out this year.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Towards the end, yeah. Deadpool
2. Yeah.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Good God. Anyways,
God,
we're so exhausted now.
So tired.
Follow us on Twitter. No, we have more. But yeah, so hopefully 2018, although from what I've looked at, doesn't seem all that much more promising.
There is some stuff I'm excited about, though. Like, I am really psyched for Black Panther. I think it's going to be super awesome. I think it's going to be really good. You loved Ant-Man 1, so hopefully the second one is good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Avengers Infinity War.
I'm
personally.
exhausted with the Avengers.
The reason why I'm looking forward to it is mainly because of the fact that this is the show. We've had literally countless movies.
This is Hogan and Andre, right?
This is the show. Okay, this is exactly what they've all been teasing us for the past fucking year.
This is what every previous movie has been.
Every movie has been an ad for this show, and this is the show. So I want to see how good is this show.
Yeah,
I'm about 99% sure we don't have this rabbit of a fan, but if you do exist, please go through all of our episodes and see if I peppered in a wrestling reference. I think now in every episode. I'm not certain.
Wrestling reference.
Yeah, Hogan Andre right there.
Yep.
It always comes up one way or another.
It's just a part of your brain, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
So what else? What else do we need to discuss to have closure on 2017?
Guys, I think we need to take a moment, cue the music, to remember those
in
who we lost
memoriam,
this
John's
year.
favorite,
And for those
we lost this
for
year.
those who can't see, because, well, nobody can because it's a podcast, I actually wrote all these names down on a pizza box. And, of course, I drew a penis.
we're very
on the
organized and
box.
We are.
professional here
We
at
are.
Cinema Psychos.
Yeah,
It's
and
a really great time.
You missed that last part there where John said he drew a penis on the pizza box.
Yeah.
Listen, my leftovers are not safe around this motherfucker. Every time we go to Mad Max, he always puts a dick on my leftover tacos.
Double birds. You couldn't see it. But yeah, there were a lot of people. I was starting to write them down, and it was just like, this list just never gonna stop. So this year, we'll stop for some of these, and the other ones we'll just kind of go through. Harry Dean Stanton, we lost this year. Hugh Hefner, who I just thought would live forever.
And that's weird because obviously I'm the voice
His boner
of like
didn't die.
feminism on the show, and
Rigor mortis.
there is nothing feminist about that bastard. But he's such an icon.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was sad because I was like, that's fine. Like it's his time. But it was a very odd thing. It felt weird that he was dead because he was so iconic, not necessarily positively iconic, but like for the right reasons. But it was odd that he had died. You know what I mean? Because. You ever have people that just like represent more than who they are?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
You think of that guy, you think of the mansion. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Well, oddly enough, like
was a weird one for
I'm
me.
with you, Elaine, that he is kind of a horrible dude, for women in this country.
Oh,
But
yeah, fuck
I
that
did
guy.
see a lot of women that said that, like, oh, you taught me that it's like okay to feel bisexual and things like that. Like you open up
That's
a lot
true.
of
And that's
That's
good.
true.
I mean, like I think
floodgates for sexuality.
that having a good influence in some instances can be good, but like the whole thing with like him having to be buried by Marilyn Monroe and like
That is
all
so
the
fucking weird.
and all the
Yeah,
shitty
that's pretty
things he
creepy.
did to her, and like just he did so many shitty things to other women. Like he died because he knew that the like rape allegation reckoning was coming, and he was like, well, fuck. So he was like, I'm gonna peace out before this hits me.
I think he might have died because he was old, Elaine.
No,
he was really
that's
old.
Not how,
Yeah.
that's not why.
All right. This year, Tom Petty did back down and left us.
Oh, John.
Oh, sorry.
that was horrible. Sorry, keep going.
Jimmy Snuka jumped off the steel cage into hell. What?
Why are you the worst?
Okay, first off, number 2 wrestling reference. Secondly, he killed his wife, and everyone knows it. So sorry, Superfly, but you're a piece of crap. Adam West,
That
Batman,
was sad.
died. Yeah, but I mean, like, once again, at least he was super old. It wasn't like Heath Ledger dying at like 38
I
or whatever.
know.
He was, God, in his mid 80s, wasn't he? Well, I remember because we covered it when he died.
Yeah, that was really sad.
William Peter Blatty, film director, passed away this year. Tony Rosato, who most people probably have no idea who that is. He was in that part of the 80s that nobody was watching SNL. He was a cast member, but here's why I had to write it down. He was also the voice of Nemesis in Resident Evil 3. He was the guy who goes, "Stars." He's the voice of Nemesis. So I was like,
Wow,
oh, Nemesis is dead.
nerd.
You're a fucking nerd.
You're a fucking nerd.
We just got sued again. But it's funny because I've actually killed Nemesis multiple times. Judge Wapner. Judge Wapner died.
Oh, I didn't know Wapner died.
Yeah. If you want to, I guess he is a celebrity. Dick Gregory, who that one hurt, famous comedian, African American comedian, who kind of paved the way for that. Once again, another one of those. His albums are in a black bag in the back of the store, and it's like you're running pornography.
Yeah, explicit stuff, right?
Jerry Lewis passed
You can't
away.
make any more Jerry Lewis jokes now about him still being alive.
Yeah. Oh God, well those telethons where
I know.
he looks more and more like Jabba the Hutt, like just so bad.
I hope no one thought that we weren't going to speak ill of the dead in this segment because, dear Lord.
The thing I never understood that, like speaking bad about. I would have said that he looked like Jabba the Hutt if he was still alive. So I don't
Did he
understand.
have that little like guy the
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah, Don Rickles, another comedian, passed away. I'm on a kick here. Charlie Murphy, that was a shock. Eddie Murphy's brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Charlie
was
Murphy's
really
True
sad.
Hollywood Stories on.
That was really sad.
Bill Paxton.
That was
Yeah,
surprising
that was
as hell.
surprising.
That was and obviously
He
everybody-
died right before the Oscars, or like the day of the Oscars last year.
It was.
right?
I think it was like the day.
Yeah,
And they
the
couldn't
day
put
of-
him in. The
Yeah,
thing, right?
so Jennifer Aniston was up, and she was the one that mentioned it, right?
Yep.
Game over, man. But Richard Hatch died. John Hurt. Obviously George Romero. We did a whole episode on that. Toby Hooper. Glenn Campbell died. David Cassidy. John Hurd.
Yeah, David Cassidy.
Mary Tyler Moore, who I once also thought would never die.
That was a shame.
Roger Ailes is burning in hell. So there's that. Powers Booth. My boy Powers Booth.
Powers Booth, the
man.
bad guy in like everything.
He is the bad guy in everything.
The like evil rich dude.
Chuck Berry, who I thought, how could you still be alive? He just
John, you're just shitting on all these dead people for no reason.
Greg Allman died. Yeah, and that's pretty much the year in review. I've gotten to the penis, which means I know I'm out of names. Which I hope you just tuned in now. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, the ones that, like, to me, the big ones are Hugh Hefner, William Peter Blatty, Jerry Lewis, Roger Moore, Mary Tyler Moore, and George Romero. Like, those are the ones where, for different Chris Cornell, like, for different reasons, where I was just like, some of them were old, and, like, I mean, everybody's time comes, and others were super young, but just some people that, like, are just so famous and such icons, you just don't expect for them to ever die.
I didn't expect John Hurt to die.
Yeah, he was just at Steel City Con, I think, like 3 to 6 months before he died.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
really
not
old. Like, he was super, super old.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like Adam West, like, okay, you expect it. You're still super sad when it happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
But, certain people like Chris Cornell dying. I mean, I guess the man did enjoy his heroin, but it's still weird.
Yeah.
yeah, it happens. I know.
But, so,
Yeah, so that
and then there's that
wraps
sad
up
quiet
our
right
in
there.
memoriam.
Yeah.
So I feel like this episode is it's getting a little long. So what else do we need to
Okay.
cover,
Or our
guys?
top five.
Yeah, I'll quickly go over this because this is just something that from way back in, I think, April, I did a prediction on our summer movies that were coming out and what I thought was
Yeah.
going to be the highest grossing. So I'm going to just briefly touch on this here because some of these I was right on, some I was dead off. Spider-Man I thought was going to be the surprise hit of the summer. It did come in third, but I was off by like $100 million.
Yeah.
I was pretty close. Guardians of the Galaxy, $350 million, $389 million.
Some of these you were dead close on.
Yeah, some of them was
Seriously.
horribly. I thought Wonder Woman was going to have the sting of Justice League. It didn't. I said 210 million, 412. So that was the one I was way off on here. Let's see here. I was very close on War for the Planet of the Apes, 146 to 175. Dark Tower, apparently I gave a little bit too much trust on. It only grossed 50 million. I thought it would gross 158 million.
Wow.
And Baywatch did 58 million. I thought I was being mean at 125 million. I overestimated comedy. Snatched and Rough Night, I was really overestimated how much money those would make. Brian, do you want to guess how much Amityville: The Awakening made
Oh my god.
in American theaters?
Never gonna guess.
What's my range? No, I don't get it. I don't get that. Oh, okay.
It's so mind blowing.
I don't know. 20.
20 mil.
Yeah.
$742.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Look at your face.
$742. That's all it made.
Yeah.
It's a shame it's a podcast.
Oh
guys.
my god.
My eyes crossed. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
Seriously.
That's
Isn't
that's
that-
got to be like the worst movie of all time.
Isn't that crazy? That did worse than the Lindsay Lohan I Know Who Killed Me movie.
Holy shit.
And that might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
But and then just the
That
last.
must like Cutthroat Island must be like an Oscar film compared to that.
Seriously.
It surprisingly did well overseas, but
Wow.
Just to wrap it up here, the last two that I was damn close on, Dunkirk, I said would pull in 205 million, 188. And,
bad, not bad.
Sorry, let me find it. The Emoji Movie. I said 85 million, 86 million.
Come on, he was within $1 million.
Wow,
That's so
that's
cool. You did good, dude.
So yeah, some of these I grossly overestimated, some I underestimated. So I was pretty close. So
Not bad.
yeah,
Not bad.
maybe I'll
Yeah.
try this again in this April.
Yeah,
Next
seriously,
summer,
you should. You should.
But yeah, I just realized I was thinking we were preparing this episode. I was like, oh wait, I still have that sheet I made for my summer predictions. Let's see how close I was. You
yeah,
know?
well, maybe we'll all do one this year because I mean
Yeah.
that was so
we'll
cool
do
for you
a
to look back on.
summer movie poll and like
Yeah, there you
see
go.
who
That'd
wins
be
it.
cool.
All right, yeah, let's get into the piece à la résistance.
All right, so do we want to start with the good or start with the bad?
I say we start with the good.
Cool.
Okay. So I'll go down. I have 5 for my top 5.
Brian, you're so cynical and
Perfect.
pessimistic. Like, oh, everybody's gonna want the bad more.
They are. I mean, come on, everybody knows that. But my bottom 5, I only have 4, because the as we said in the beginning of the show, the stipulation with these are that we had to
saw
have
these
seen
things.
them. Okay, so even though the Emoji Movie is probably the worst one, none of us saw it, so we can't really put that down.
You know what? I'm just gonna throw this down though. What is the difference between the Emoji Movie and the Lego Movie? They're both soulless ad plug-in time.
No.
Well,
The
a Lego
Emoji
movie has
was
charm.
Yeah, and the Emoji Movie
Charm.
was like really sexist and gross. Like, no.
I didn't even see it. I can't even say that.
And Adam Sandler, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that guy.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Emoji Movie?
Emoji Movie didn't
Yeah,
have
I
Adam
didn't do
Sandler in it.
that.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Pixels. Fuck,
Yeah, you're
I'm
thinking
thinking
Pixels.
of Pixels, guys.
That
What
was
the fuck?
2016.
Hold
mind.
for editing.
Never mind. I don't mind being wrong. That's okay.
That's
I
all
called
right.
myself
That's
out.
all right.
I was thinking of Pixels. Fuck Adam Sandler. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understood the sexist thing. I was looking at you and I was like, that Emoji Movie is a lot of things that I don't think
Yeah.
is over.
Yeah,
is-
no.
Yeah.
So my top 5 best. Okay.
Okay.
I have Get Out
Uh-huh.
at number 5.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
I'll leave. Oh,
Get Out at number 5. Wonder Woman at number 4. Logan at number 3. Last Jedi at number 2, and Disaster Artist at number 1.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great movies all around, and good for very different reasons.
All right.
Wonder Woman basically, for a moment, restoring my faith in DC films. Get Out having a brilliant concept and executing it in an awesome way.
Right.
And it's a shame that it was marketed on the Golden Globes as a comedy, because it's not. It is far from it. It has comedic elements, but it's definitely
Yeah.
not.
And it's dark as hell.
Yeah. Logan, one of the best superhero films I've ever seen.
Yep.
Last Jedi, we have a whole episode on why I liked it. And Disaster Artist, I loved it because this whole year has been, kind of obsessing over The Room and Tommy Wiseau and just seeing how bad of a how bad of a situation it was. Definitely was interesting, and I liked James Franco's take on it.
Gotcha.
I thought it was actually really well done.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
well,
that's my top 5.
cool. Well, ours are remarkably similar, Brian. I would just like to say that I'm really sad about The Disaster Artist because I liked it so much, and it would be on my list, but I have to break up with The Disaster Artist because apparently James Franco is a giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
So the allegations came out against him with his students.
well, you saw it before you knew of the allegations. Like,
That's
yeah.
why I put it on there.
But I can't unknow the allegations, and I would never tell anybody like what they have to do. As far
Right.
as like artist versus art goes. For me, I have a really hard time separating the two.
Right.
Fuck you, James Franco.
I don't know. If I found out Carl Weathers fucked kittens, I still would like Predator.
Well, see, John, that's your prerogative. That's
God.
your, that's your
I would just see him
right.
come on the screen and be like, kitten
But
fucker.
for me, I can't.
No, I get
make
it.
the separation.
I get it.
So fuck
get
you,
it.
James Franco, because I really did like the movie, and
Yeah.
it would be on my list if he wasn't a giant tire fire of a human being. Get Out, I thought was great. I thought the writing was really sharp, and it was the only time I really enjoyed myself at the movies this year, with a non comic book movie.
Yeah.
My second was Logan. I cried like a bitch. It was like the most emotional comic
Roller
book movie
coaster,
I've seen in
yeah.
a really long time. I thought it was really beautifully done. What a great way to end an era, for the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine film that we're probably ever going to see. Wonder Woman was amazing. Wonder Woman meant a lot to me because it was, a movie done by a woman and, starring women. I sometimes when things are really bad here in in Trump Town, USA. I want to just escape to the mascara and just like learn to be an Amazon with those like other women and just like leave the country. I have a surprise for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made my list because it was the most fun
That's not that
I
surprising.
had
Yeah,
at a
it wasn't
comic book
bad.
movie this
It
year.
was good.
I was just.
It wasn't my top 5.
I think
good,
I
but
was
it was
totally in the mood. I just think that's why, and I just remember how much fun I had and how much I
was
loved
fun.
it. I just thought it was a really good time.
Good. It was a good one.
And then, and then Last Jedi makes my list as well because I thought it was visually beautiful. It is, continued my faith in the new Star Wars franchise. And two, I mean, like, I'll admit it, member berries, neckbeard, like whatever you want to call it. Like I have loved Star
Here's
Wars
the
my
thing.
whole life, and I love
liked,
these movies.
I like this Star Wars movie because it didn't rely on member berries.
Yeah,
because it was completely devoid of that.
Well, by virtue of it existing,
Yeah. No, I
the
get
fact
it.
that they're
I
making
get
these
it.
again. But yeah, but
By being
that's my
completely
list.
devoid of it, does that not also mean that it's completely in reliance of it?
No, because it doesn't have member berries.
Did we tell you that John was on the debate team in school? And like he's getting like
yeah,
debatey.
I know,
He's getting debatey.
All right, guys.
No DeWarren Beatty.
Star Wars: Last Jedi will not be on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, we know.
Big shocker there,
Yeah.
John.
So, because I'm insecure, I would like to list movies that I haven't seen this year, so please don't chastise me for not being on the list. Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, All the Money in the World, The Post, I, Tonya, Darkest Hour, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh
so
yeah,
all
a lot
the
of
good
Oscar
movies
fodder I haven't seen. Well, too, I didn't see The Big Sick yet, and I've heard it's
I
great.
haven't
so
seen
like
any of
it's
those
on
good
it's on
movies.
my list. Better Watch Out, the horror Christmas movie this year. I heard it was also great, and I didn't
Yeah.
get to see it. So
Yeah, so my apologies.
we have a to watch list.
Yeah,
Guys.
for this list. Like I said, I'll update this closer to the Oscars. I have actually, just to get this out of the way really quickly, my forgettable list, which is War for the Planet of the Apes, Baby Driver, and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
All
Like not
three-
worst, not best, just like forgettable.
All 3 of them were some. I was enjoying it while I watched it, but I really didn't.
right.
Yeah.
It's
No,
it
that's
is what
right.
it is.
Gotcha.
All right, my 5 best films. Number 5 is Dunkirk. There's no real human connection in it, but it was still just brilliantly shot and paced and timed, because as most Christopher Nolan movies are. The Disaster Artist made my list as well, but any movie that's based off of one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, is going to make the list. Logan, I was excited for an entire year, and it didn't let me down. And Brian, I actually am going to go off of what you said and just make a slight adjustment. In my opinion, it wasn't one of the best comic book movies I've seen. It was one of the best movies based off of comic books.
Right. And-
Yeah.
No, I definitely.
Yeah, it wasn't a
Because as a
comic
comic
That's
book
what
movie, it was
that's
horrible.
what I kind
It
of
wasn't any
meant
fun at all.
along those lines. But yes, you're
that's a
absolutely
good
right.
point, John.
Number 2 was Get Out. I think that makes 3 for Get
3
Out.
for 3.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
And I think it's going to be forgotten about, which makes me sad. But my number 1 was Detroit, which
Oh, that's right. I
yeah.
forgot about that one this
was
year.
an
I didn't see
amazing
it.
movie. And it takes place in the 60s, an actual event that happened in Detroit, but it has as much relevance to today than
of course.
it did when it happened,
Yeah,
which is
sadly it
really
does.
sad and pathetic. A lot of controversy at the time because it was directed by Catherine Bigelow, so it was a white woman telling a story that was predominantly about African Americans being tortured by the police in Detroit, Michigan, which ended up causing for a lot more civil rights movements to kind of go forward. But just brilliantly paced, gut-wrenching, amazingly acted. So Detroit was at the time and still is my favorite movie of the year.
Cool.
Very cool. Wow, that's surprising. I had forgotten about that movie, and that's something too. Like it's nice to kind of mention the movies that didn't get a lot of buzz. At least unfairly so, but there wasn't a single person on earth that didn't know Wonder Woman came out. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I love that movie, but
Well, there was a movie that had Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston where they were like drug mules, but they pretended to be like this family. Where they would go and they had to go into Mexico. We Are the Millers.
Oh,
yes,
I saw that.
Yes.
And like
I like that movie.
the dorky looking kid that played the son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that, he plays this racist cop in this thing, and like I only knew him from We Are the Millers, and for him, it's a complete 180.
Wow.
And he is
you
this,
said he was great in it,
this
right?
shit kicking like racist motherfucker. And it's just like,
you-
whoa,
Wow.
this is the kid from We Are the
Mind-blowing.
Millers. This is impressive. Wow. But all right, so
bottom 5, and I'll lead off on here. 1, I only have 4, so these are my dirty 4. Okay.
All right.
Brian, you should put fart sound effects over all of our picks.
First one is Life. So the movie about the alien in space with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah, I like that movie when it was called Alien.
Yeah. Last time I checked.
Oh God, yeah, that was every week. I was like, Elaine, you want to go to the movies? And she's like, what's playing? And I'd be like, well, I guess we could go see Life. And she's like, no.
Every single time I was like, fuck that.
Yeah,
Like, no.
yeah. So Life, Despicable Me 3.
Did you see that?
I had to.
These kids, dude.
I had stepkids that saw that, and
Fuck those minions.
fucking minions, man. Justice League, big shocker there. And my number 1, fucking Power Rangers.
Wait, was that the porno version? Fucking Power Rangers.
Nope, just Power Rangers. That was
Goo
my
Goo Power
number 1 terrible fucking movie that I saw.
Can I
now
say
you,
something controversial?
nah,
What?
what?
I didn't hate that movie.
That is controversial.
I
Get
had
the
fun.
fuck out.
I thought it was fun. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't. I
But
don't
you'll
know.
notice that Transformers, 5,000 isn't on there.
5002.
5,002. Excuse
Come on,
me.
Brian. We're doing a podcast here. Make sure you're accurate.
A bunch of those other really bad movies. And I didn't put Ghost in the Shell on there. A lot of people would say Ghost in the Shell belongs on there too. I saw it and I actually didn't mind it. I thought it was very true, with the exception of the whitewashing, of course, to the original anime. So it for me felt very much at home in that regard. Is it a great movie? Not really, but I wouldn't put it in the same realm as Power Rangers or Justice League. I mean, those tire fires are their own beast. But those are my bottom 4.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the thing. So I didn't see a lot of the really bad movies. So even more shockingly, like my list is at 2 because, like we said, we were only going to do movies that were, something that we actually saw. Now I have some speculative ones. I was very pissed off about the movie Rough Night with Scarlett Johansson. I thought that movie looked very damaging, and I didn't like the punchlines of a sex worker's death. I thought that was shitty.
I've seen that before, though. There's a movie called what the fuck is it called? Very Bad Things. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like the woman version, and like no, dumb. So
this year in 2018, we're gonna have a new episode premiering called "Really That Awful," and I think we should put "Very Bad Things."
Very
on
Bad
there.
Things does
Yeah.
belong on that.
Sorry, Lynn.
So that's my speculative one. I imagine Snatched with Amy Schumer was horrible. I mean, for as much as I did like Trainwreck, okay, I'm really sick of Amy Schumer. I don't think
hated
she's funny
Trainwreck.
anymore. And then of course the Emoji Movie was just panned by everybody, so that's on my speculative list as well. Now for movies that I did see, and I recently just saw this first one, Mother.
Did you actually watch it?
I fucking hated it.
Holy
I thought it was
crap.
up its own ass. I thought it was so dumb. I thought it was like supposed to be half shock value, half like pseudo intellectual bullshit. Like, and I've liked Aronofsky movies before.
Yeah.
I mean, like I really liked Black Swan, and and I really like The Wrestler. I mean, there's work of his that I have responded to, but he just like firmly had his head up his ass for this one, and not even good performances. Because I don't know, I like Jennifer Lawrence, okay, but I don't think she's that talented. I don't think she deserves to have an Oscar. And she wasn't that good in this, and Javier Bardem, I don't think he was that good in this. I mean, my brain is screaming Catwoman at me. Michelle Pfeiffer, that's her name.
Pfeiffer,
Jesus. Yeah. And she wasn't that great. I mean, I just thought the movie was like stressful and stupid.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get what he was trying to say with the film. If you don't know like the metaphor and the allegory, like you're gonna just hang yourself for the movie because it is about Mother Earth versus God, and there's a lot of Bible references. But even that like didn't speak to any higher truths about life or the condition of human existence. I hated it. It was stupid.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, don't bother.
Well, I
you'll
mean,
just be mad the whole time.
I know that my wife and I have said we wanted to see it to see just how terrible it is.
I don't feel like I'm a better person for having seen it. And that was kind of why I wanted to see it too. But
Interestingly, it's ended up on a few critics' top
best
10
list. I know.
yeah.
I know.
Oh, for fuck's
but that's
sake.
all
Seriously?
subjective. For me, I thought it was tedious and horrible. And then my other one was Justice League. I mean, I don't know how you muddle a movie that badly. But I think by putting Ben Affleck in it, I think that's probably your first
It's not
mistake.
even just Ben Affleck now.
I thought he tanked that movie, though. I really did.
It's not even just him.
Yeah.
It was just they took the character who is at that point the best Wonder Woman
yeah.
and gave her nothing to do.
I know.
She had nothing to fucking do the entire movie.
Well, they only reshot that beginning part with her in the bank to put her in the movie more after Wonder Woman made so much money.
Yeah, but it was I mean, I'm not surprised by that, but I'm watching this going like, you didn't give the one character that actually is somewhat good anything to do. I mean, you got the Flash.
Well,
and
too, and I mean, like,
but that's not really the fucking Flash.
And they could have done more with Aquaman. And
well, he was stupid. I hated Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, he was like...
Aquaman's pointless anyway.
He is a pointless character.
I mean, like, he's fun to look at, but...
Okay, well, that's the only reason why he's there.
But, too, I mean, I hate when we get in a situation where we have the team-up movie before the origin story movie. Like, Aquaman's not coming out till, what, like December?
Something like that.
So we don't know anything of him yet. So it doesn't mean anything, you know? So, but yeah, I only went with movies that I had seen. And I'm sorry, like, even though I saw it, like, Power Rangers didn't make my list. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. But I didn't watch the show as a kid, so I feel like that helps me out a lot, too, where it's like, oh, like, you guys didn't shit on my childhood. Did
you see the original Power Rangers movie?
Mm-mm. I never watched it. My timing of watching Power Rangers movies is probably linked, or Power Rangers shows. Yeah. Like the man hours are probably just like a few minutes from YouTube here and there, honestly.
Gotcha.
So
now I have the theme song in my head.
Go
but I have a couple honorable mentions.
Ooh, John probably has an extensive list.
Now this one I didn't see, but because they tortured dogs on it, I can say fuck them. Dog's Purpose. That movie can rot in hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that movie.
Fuck that.
Just treated the dogs like shit. But ones I did see, Ghost in the Shell, I found boring and tedious, and thought it was more intelligent than it really was.
Yeah.
And I hear people love the anime, which I haven't seen, which is apparently very good.
Now, it is anime and not graphic novel?
It's either manga or anime, but yeah, it is an anime, I believe.
Okay, I gotcha.
And the Belko Experiment, which if you saw only the first like 40 minutes of this movie, you'd be like, wow, this is really good. I'm really invested.
Oh my God, I forgot you saw that movie.
You did see that movie, didn't you?
Yeah, and then like you pause it and go back and do something, man, I can't wait to finish Belko Experiment. And then you watch like the rest of like 65 minutes or so, and you're like, oh my God, this just fell apart into the toilet. You know, it's like a delicious meal. It's great when you eat it, but then it turns into shit.
So it's Taco Bell.
That's every meal, honey. That's
Taco
every meal.
Bell.
Maybe unpleasant shit is what we're going for here.
Number 5 on my list, and you know, just to repeat again ad nauseum, I also didn't see a lot of the movies that were just god awful. Yeah. I wish I had the time to just go see Dark Tower, the Mummy emoji movie and stuff like that.
Oh, the Mummy would have been terrible.
Nut Job 2, just so I could be like, oh yeah, they're horrible. Transformers last night, 95. But number 5 on my list, take that again. Number 5 on my list, Kong Skull Island.
Oh.
So deeply forgettable, and just like, do we really need another King Kong movie?
No, we did
Which
not.
I know why, is because they're creating that monster universe because they want him to fight Godzilla. And that's also why he's like 30 feet tall this time.
I don't think they're doing that though, because are they?
Yeah.
But like
the Godzilla
Mummy
one?
was so bad.
No, that's a different. I believe that's a different.
You're thinking of the Universal Monster Movie
Yes.
universe. This is the other monster movie universe that they're making.
Don't you love your movie universes?
Oh
That's
my
all
God.
it is now.
Do you guys ever just think that the studios are just like giving us the finger and like doing the suck it motion and like just telling us to go fuck ourselves?
You know what here's what I imagine that the studio executives are doing nowadays. They're kind of like how we were when we were like 7 or 8, where like, I don't know about you, but I like a Batman Batcave playset in action figures.
Yeah.
And all I did was every day I would just come up with stories and just have the action figures do it. But these are grown men and women doing this now. So they're just like, oh yeah, Batman's gonna go ahead and fight Mr. Freeze, and then oh, here comes Superman, and Superman's here too, and oh, you know what? We're gonna throw the Riddler in there, and then we're gonna throw this, and then oh my God, you know what would be cool if we had Darkseid come in too, and there's Justice League. Okay, that right there is thank you. Thank you. So I imagine that there's a bunch of studio executives with a Godzilla, a King Kong, just going, "Oh my god, they're fighting here!" And then Mecha Godzilla comes in, and then that's all they're doing. That is all they're doing nowadays.
Robot Godzilla.
That is the robot Godzilla.
See, I would be that guy in the
so
boardroom
beautiful.
who'd be like, "Hey guys, watch this," and I would bend over the King Kong toy and have like the Godzilla toy bang it. They'd be like, "Yes, they're in love. Write it." Oh no!
What have I done? Oh,
Yeah,
guys, it's
but-
so bad.
But speaking of movie universes, Justice League made it to number 4 on my list.
Yeah,
because
it
it
wasn't
was
good.
It wasn't Batman v Superman bad.
Nothing is.
Like I
No,
was
it wasn't
almost,
up its own ass bad.
I was
There's
almost
a different
mad
level
at
of bad.
this movie because it was like they were
Go to your room.
well, because there was slightly minuscule redeeming things about it.
Yeah.
I would rather if it had just been a complete train wreck instead
Right.
of them trying to salvage it. Just do the Snyder version. Just go all in. Alien Covenant makes it
I didn't
number
see
3.
that.
I heard it was terrible.
If you had told me that this movie was made by some studio hack for hire and had never seen any of the other Alien movies, I'd have been like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But Ridley Scott, who made the first goddamn movie, made this fucking movie. What? He doesn't understand even his own fucking franchise that he's fucking started.
John, you're getting so shrill. You're so upset.
Your balls just like went right up inside it, didn't they?
There was no point to it. It was a slasher movie with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
There was no greater context to anything. The only thing that I liked...
To be fair, here's the thing. To be fair, isn't the first Alien nothing more than a slasher movie in space?
Yeah,
But it was groundbreaking.
But
for
it
the
was
time.
groundbreaking.
It was
And
very,
yes, it was. I will give you that.
Shot,
Far more cerebral.
But it was basically a slasher movie in space.
It was, but it was smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I enjoyed was watching Michael Fassbender almost kiss himself, which was very enjoyable because there's two Davids.
Was it confusing to you?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I just imagined that they were hitting each other in the stomach with their giant hogs. It's like, "Oh, you hit me with your giant wiener."
You're just like, okay, when are they going to Dutch rudder themselves?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so glad that we've had our Michael Fassbender penis reference, our first of 2018. John talks about his dong a lot, guys, so buckle in.
Hey, I'm watching that movie. It's like 3 a.m. You're sleeping. I was like, "Holy shit! Look at that fucking thing!" And it's flaccid. And you're like, "What? Is the penis way?" He's like, "Oh, nothing, honey. Go back to sleep."
Go back to sleep, honey. That's a giant penis
you know,
on TV.
Michael Fassbender just has a horse dick between his legs.
You cried out so intensely, I thought you hurt yourself. Little did I know it was just your pride.
Dude, he has to I don't know. He has to, when he ties his shoes, he's got to pull that thing out of the way, throw it over his shoulder. Hey, we're trying to do a pickup game. Can we have those basketballs in your pants? Sorry, those are my balls.
Oh, God. Okay, so what do you got?
Speaking of dicks, Power Rangers came in at number 2.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys hate. I mean, like I said, I didn't grow up with it, so
That's
I
the
feel
problem.
Like I didn't hate
Well,
it as
here's
much.
why this movie to me was just an epic fail.
Goda.
It failed on every level. Is that this movie was Goda, honey, my Goda.
My gold. Yes, gold.
At least she was trying. She failed, but at least she was
She
trying.
did. She did.
Is that this movie was made for 35-year-olds?
Yes.
Because no kid,
Gritty.
no kid that I think actually Power Rangers might still be on TV.
It is still.
Yeah, but just the original thing, no kid knows that version of Power Rangers. So you took a kid to this, they'd be bored to tears.
You'd be like, what the fuck is a Goldar?
Yeah, it's just because the Power Rangers don't even come out until the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Because they have morphine erectile dysfunction.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, because that's a thing.
And I'm sorry, but I really hate this whole thing that it was meant for children, and then when those children become adults, we're going to give them a gritty version of it just so they can justify liking something that was intended for children.
Yeah.
Motto.
You had a really impressive rant about this in the car the other day.
And then number 1 for me here, just like you, Elaine, is Mother.
Oh, yes, you hated it too.
This pretentious, vile, simplistic fucking nightmare of a movie. This is
I really need to see it now.
and the thing is, Darren Aronofsky just like you said, Elaine. I'm sorry, I'm taking you verbatim here.
Dude, it's fine.
Black Swan, Wrestler, Requiem for a Dream. Half of his movies, I'm like, this guy is great, and the other half, I'm like, he is a hack fraud.
Yeah.
And this is his
It's
hack
confusing.
fraud territory. This is the worst thing that he's created, and it was the worst thing that was created this year. It was the most, to steal Red Letter Media, I listened to their review of it, so I should throw it in the steel jar here. But I think it was Jay who said, this is the most expensive college student film ever made.
Right?
And I was like, I couldn't agree with that more.
Oh, God.
And this is a man who thinks he is much smarter than he is. That guy that walks around with his nose in the air, and he doesn't realize that he's not actually that intelligent.
So smug.
Yeah.
This
So it's
movie
Mr.
was so
Yes, you
smug.
just don't understand the different subtext. Fuck you.
Yeah,
No,
it's
this movie was so smug.
it's
You know,
underlying
Witness
subtext.
has more subtext than your movie, okay?
Yeah. The underlying subtext, it was razor thin. I mean, even if you've never picked up a Bible, you get it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I saw the, what was it, the honest trailer
Yeah,
of
of Mother.
of Mother,
Yeah.
and from what I saw, the cursory amount of it, it's pretty much on line of what you're saying, of basically like the most expensive student film you've ever seen.
And, for people that, oh, John, how can you think that that's worse than Power Rangers? Because I didn't expect anything from Power Rangers. Like,
Your bar was pretty low already.
Yeah, we go into these movies
Yeah.
with a hint of cynicism. Like Justice League, Alien Covenant, Power Rangers. I didn't expect anything in these movies, and then it gave me exactly what I thought they would. I mean, Darren Aronofsky is a very accomplished filmmaker, and for him to release this and to have Javier Bardem smiling is just unsettling.
Every
him to
single
be
time he
happy.
smiles in
Yeah.
anything, it's always bad.
Oh, yeah.
When he was in James Bond and he smiled and you saw like his mangled up teeth.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, oh, you just shouldn't smile ever.
Yeah, so Mother's just an inexcusable like turd nugget, and
Wow.
Yeah, that was the worst movie for me.
Darren
as well.
Aronofsky, suck it.
Suck it.
Wow. So yeah, 2017.
Yep.
Damn.
Well, let's just real quick. Let's look into 2018, see if there's anything that worth seeing here.
There's a lot of like soft sequel boots and like
Yeah.
fandoms that are going to be coming back. I'm sure the Tomb Raider movie is going to be fucking terrible, but I really want to see it. John and I just got that movie pass thing, so
Yeah.
it's not even going to be a waste of money to go see it. I do like Alicia Vikander as well. I think she was a good choice. I was surprised that she was picked, but I think she's a good choice. I'm excited for Black Panther. I'm excited for a couple other things coming up. What else is coming up, John?
Well, yeah. Here's a list of movies that we'll probably be talking about on the show. Avengers: Infinity War. I know everybody's
everybody's
super
been
pumped
talking about that.
one. I feel that it's almost gonna be a letdown just because everybody's expectations are so high. Like The Dark Knight Rises. After we also saw The Dark Knight, like, oh, it's gonna be the greatest movie of all time. Like,
True.
it wasn't that good, anyways, but like it was.
Yeah, but we haven't really had a Dark Knight yet.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Logan was pretty close, but
No, but I mean like within the Marvel.
Right.
We really haven't had that Dark Knight moment yet.
I know.
I mean, like the first Avengers gets pretty damn close, but I don't think it's necessarily like, holy shit, the Dark Knight level.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I'm just saying. So maybe Infinity War will be that.
Kinda
You know,
wanna watch
I hope
Dark
so.
Knight now.
Deadpool 2 is coming
Yeah,
out.
I'm excited for that.
That was a huge landmark comic book movie when it came out. The Han Solo movie, God help us all. Isn't it just called Solo?
No, it's called Han Solo.
Is it called Han Solo?
I thought it was
don't
called
even know.
Oh,
Solo.
it's called Solo.
Yeah, I thought it was
Star
called Solo.
Wars story.
A Star Wars story.
Oh, fucking hell.
Jurassic World 2. So this is in the same universe
Me
as
and Brian are like, God damn it, we have to watch that.
you can't call it 2 when it's not the second movie. If it exists in the same universe as Jurassic Park, then it's a sequel to Jurassic Park. You can't call it 2.
John, your nose is bleeding.
Damn it.
Keep going.
Ready Player One, which actually looks pretty
That
good.
looks pretty exciting.
one I'm
I'm
looking
excited for
forward
that
to.
one. No, that's good.
I like how it's like you can imagine anything as long as the studio owns the rights to it. Ant-Man 2 coming out.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, the
Hopefully.
New Mutants was supposed to be coming out this year, but the studio pushed it back.
That sucks.
Which is kind of a gritty R-rated, mutant movie.
That sucks.
They're like, well, Logan was popular. Let's do another R-rated one. But
Right.
that got pushed back. Venom, which Elaine is super excited for.
Oh my God.
Tom Hardy.
Boring.
Black Panther, X-Men, Dark Phoenix. You see how many comic book movies we got here?
So many. So many.
The Predator reboot.
Oh, Jesus. Didn't they already reboot that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hasn't it already been done? Like, wasn't
reboot
Predators a reboot?
Brian, this is a gritty sequel soft
Jesus
reboot
fucking
boot.
It's fucking Predator. It's already gritty enough.
F you, Brian. It's forever.
And besides, there's Predator 2, which takes place in New York with Bill Paxton.
I like that movie.
And Bohemian Rhapsody was making a movie off of Freddie Mercury, which should be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Now, granted, those were going to make over $100 million movies, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Hopefully, there's a lot of really good indie movies and surprise darlings.
The one I'm looking forward to that you didn't mention,
because
it's been one that I've been wanting to see for a while, that has always been like on the cursory, like, oh, it might come up, might not. Incredibles 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. The first one was super
First
cute.
one, I loved The Incredibles. That was great.
Yeah,
because it was just an
super
entire
cute.
mockery of superheroes. Mm-hmm. And it asked the question, what if the superheroes were like well known inside of society and that sort of thing. And just like some of the weird comic conventions you got. So yeah, Incredibles 2, looking forward to that one.
Very cool. Yeah.
Ready Player One you mentioned. Ocean's 8.
Mm-hmm. I
that one's coming out.
Wait, so that's the
that's the
reboot
Lady
with
Oceans,
the ladies, right?
the Lady
It's not really a reboot, it's like a sequel.
I'm excited.
But there's only 8.
But it's only ladies. Yeah, it's only
I'm
8
excited.
ladies. Yeah. And
yeah, because you only need 8 women to get a job done for 13 men.
So it shouldn't have been Ocean's 22 because you would have to double the women to make the amount of money that the men made at 11.
Wow.
Yeah. You also have like Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah,
Ralph breaks the
I
internet.
hated Wreck-It Ralph 1.
Really?
So, no.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much as everybody told me I was going to, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, and that, I mean, honestly, aside from the ones you already mentioned, I mean, that big one I'm looking forward to is Infinity War.
Yeah.
So, just because, as I said, it's a show.
I'm just totally burnt out on Marvel.
The main event.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Well, guys, that was a very exhaustive review.
It was.
Listeners, thank you for hanging in there with us. Hope you had a nice long commute.
2017.
Seriously.
It's been real, yo.
It has.
We're saying goodbye to 2017.
So, Lynn, where can they find you at on the Twitters?
On the Twitter machine, I can be found at LA_Cruff. Please follow me.
John?
You can find me at the Unreal J Wolves.
You can find me at Brian Coddington. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw your way, or want to talk to us a little bit about your best and worst 2017 movies, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Also, make sure to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, Psychos Nation. You can basically subscribe to it by going to our website or onto Facebook and signing up there. We've got some brand spanking new. We got some cool stuff that we're going to be throwing up for the January newsletter. Also, make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and catch our new episode available every Sunday.
If you only see one movie from 2017, make it Annabelle 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Epicast.